Hello everyone and welcome to another CK Drafts with Numot the Nummy featuring me, Chris, the producer. This is Vintage Cube once again. It is still here for a little bit. And we are off on pack 1, and there's a bunch of good silly stuff in here, including weird things like Aetherflux Reservoir if I really want to force Storm, a couple of decent pieces we can do for like Burn or Reanimate. Really fun stuff like Survival of the Fittest that we can do silly things with, but we opened a piece of power. Solarian Academy actually also kind of rivals it, but we're gonna take the power. I mean, that's kind of what you do. We don't even need to necessarily be playing white for this to be worth it. It's just very quick acceleration that does a lot of good things very quickly. All right, here, what do we got? Seymour Reanimate. We can go very control with something like Teferi. Which Sigarda are you? Other permanents I control have Hexproofs. Pretty good. Look at the top card of my library. Cast Angel and Human spells from the top of your library. So if we want to go like the fair white-green creature beatdown deck, that is an option. Third Path Iconoclast is kind of a spell slinger build. Terra Sunder's good all-purpose removal. If we want to go ramp, we can go like Wall of Roots. Fast Bond. I mean, it would be Fast Bond if it's going to be any of those. The One Ring I'm kind of tempted to take just because it does a little of everything. I kind of want to build just a super grindy control deck, though. So I think I'm going to be that super annoying guy. We are going to be hardcore control, and we are going to take Teferi, one of the most hardcore control planeswalkers ever printed. We could do Upheaval. Upheaval can be fun, especially if we get a bunch of artifact mana. Stuff like Mox Pearl, Everflowing Chalice, Talisman of Conviction. So there's things we can wheel here that work for an Upheaval deck, and Teferi also works very well for Upheaval. I kind of want to do it. Like, we have Channel, Crater Hoof. Like, there's options of other places to go, but I like the way the picks are leading me, and I'm just gonna... We're gonna go Upheaval. It might not be a great idea. We'll find out. This does not work as well with Upheaval as I want it to, but it can be extremely funny. Consider's not terrible here, so Over Temptation, meh. Skyclave Apparition, maybe? I think I might still just be taking the Displacer Kitten just off how good it is anyway. That can do things like reset Talismans, Mox Pearls. It's any permanent, right? Non-land permanent, so we can reset Teferis with it, get multiple activations in a single turn. So I'm thinking Displacer Kitten is the pick. You are mana value 4 or less. So Skyclave Apparition can be good to take out things like opposing pieces of power and artifact ramp, but I like Displacer Kitten for now. Brazen Borrower immediately leaps out. Esper Sentinel can probably get us a few cards. Very permission-y. Darklick Shores if we want to go into black as well. So it's Esper Sentinel or Brazen Borrower here. Brazen Borrower is probably a little more what we're going for. I kind of want to try Esper Sentinel just for the prison-y feel. Don't know. I think we might have a shot at wheeling Esper Sentinel more than Brazen Borrower. So we will take the Brazen Borrower. I kind of doubt it wheels either way, but if either of those two are going to do it, it's going to be Esper Sentinel. Ralgren Triome, not bad, certainly, but I think Treasure Cruise has to be the pick here. Like, Oust is good removal, or at least decent removal. It is removal, which is better than nothing. We're going to take Treasure Cruise right now. And, Candelabra is fun if we want to go ramp. Like, that can do some things with Upheaval if we can get there. Dig Through Time is kind of more Triome lands. I think Dig Through Time for now. Hopefully we can get some of these Triomes back. I don't think we will. Elish Norn obviously is fantastic top end. Vendilion Click is one of the most classic control cards I can think of. Thirst for Discovery, not bad. I do want to eventually be able to win the game, so we're going to V-Click here. Just for funsies. None of these terribly fit too well. Like, we can do some silly things with Parallax Wave. We can try. We have Displacer Kitten and some other things, so there is some shenanigans we can pull off with Parallax Wave. It's just got to be really tricksy with it. So the trick with Parallax Wave is when it enters the battlefield. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Agatha's Soul Cauldron is good against, like, Reanimator strategies. It's not going to do much otherwise. I think I might rather take, like, Lean and Relic Warder as a sideboard option. So yeah, Parallax Wave, you put it on the battlefield, you remove all of the counters that you can to exile basically their whole board. With those on the stack, you've been holding control the whole time, so all of those, we're going to exile a creature, is on the stack. You then remove the Parallax Wave some other way. You get it off the field before any of those resolve, so that the return trigger goes off first, and then all of the exile triggers happen. That is the dream, anyway. Whether or not it works is another thing. Cathar Commando is another decent sideboard card, so we're shoring up against artifacts and enchantments. If we do slide into black just a little bit, Airtie is a pretty good splash. Creature counter spells are always good just because they dodge your negates and things along that nature. I am going to move these two to the sideboard for now, but they could end up being very main deckable. Show my sideboard, why not? Not yet. None of these super jump out at me. Like, Spectral Procession can do stuff. If I'm gonna do anything, though, I'd rather splash harder black for Gix, but we'll see if that ends up being a thing. Gix can just take over a game so quickly. Danto's not really where we want to be going, but meh. We didn't wheel any of the stuff we were hoping to, but Karmic Guide isn't a terrible payoff if, like, we need to rebuy a Displacer Kitten or something more worthwhile. Meanwhile, what do we have here? Flicker Wisp, not the worst. Snap can have some fun things happen with it. We do have more Talismans, which I am very tempted to take right now, just so we can get our upheaval plan going. Yeah, I'm gonna first pick a Talisman. That's probably wrong, but I do need just a bunch of artifact mana if I really want to get the most out of upheaval. Lingering Soul's certainly not a bad card. Murktide Regent can do a lot of work. Solitude. You are actually pretty good too, Suspicious Stowaway. I think it's between Murktide Regent and Solitude here. There is a thought to Lingering Souls, but not quite as much. Yeah. Which one, though? I think I like Murktide Regent. We can get that going pretty quick. Murktide Regent and Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise, like, we got a lot of delve going on, so it's we're probably going a little too heavy into that. But we'll see what we want most. Like, of these, I'd actually cut Treasure Cruise first, just because I like the selection on Dig Through Time. And Murktide Regent obviously can end games pretty quick. Meanwhile, we'll see what we get next. All right. So, I have a soft spot for Torrential Gear Hulk just because it was hilarious to play in Standard when it was around. It's what? Any instant card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. Can be alright. We don't actually have a ton of instants yet, so we would need to find some to actually do something. Like, Dig Through Time is probably the best thing we have there, which is really good. Adeline, if we do want to go a little more creature heavy. Rona certainly has a place in a deck like this. Spellseeker can be fantastic. Search your library for an instant or sorcery with 2 or less. We don't really have a lot to grab yet. And in this kind of deck, the most we would end up grabbing would be like a counterspell, which can certainly be worth it. I like having my control plans locked into creatures, though, that can just go crazy. So here, Elite Spellbinder, very good. Tithe Taker, also pretty good. Yeah, certainly not bad. We have another Talisman, which isn't really in our colors, but that's not a huge worry. We just want the sheer mana out of our artifacts. Watery Grave, not a bad way to splash that black. I'm tempted to take the Chrome Host Seed Shark here, and I think I'm going to. Thoughtseize would also be a great splash. We're doing all right on our, like, we have win cons through our creatures now. So now it's mostly filling out the rest of everything, making sure we can cast all of our things. Nothing here super jumps out at me. Like, Mirage Mirror can do silly stuff, but I don't think this is really the right place for it. If we want to splash red, we have some options. Call of the Ring can do some stuff. This pack is really just kind of not built for us. I'm tempted to take the Fiery Islet just so we have a way to draw a card in an instant if we need to. Prism, certainly not terrible. That can let us cast an upheaval real quick. Volcanic Island, not a bad splash if we do need a red card ever. Council's Judgment, pretty good. Unexpectedly Absent, also pretty good. I like Unexpectedly Absent. I think I see if I can wheel it. We take the Pentad Prism now. Revoker, not bad. Exarch if we end up with a Splinter Twin or a, what's-his-face, Kiki Jiki. Other than that, like, Kitchen Finks can do stuff. I don't mind Revoker. Student of Warfare, not really. I think we'll take Revoker here, just because that can turn off opposing pieces of power. Because it does not say not mana abilities, which is pretty silly. Flash can do silly things. Healy, obviously, we have big stuff with like Sundering Titan. Resto Angel can be fun and can save some of our other creatures, or do things like rebuy a Airtie counter. That's also why we have Displacer Kitten. I will take the Bitter Blossom here just on the off chance we do end up with the Black Splash. It's a little too good. Yogwill, of course, phenomenal, but we aren't that deck right now. I'm very tempted to take the Snap. Phantasmal Image can be great. Snap feels way more annoying to play against. There's another Lingering Soul. I think this is the spot for Lingering Souls. I don't mind Tenacious Underdog, but it also just gets... I don't think Cube is the best spot for it, necessarily. We could take Spellseeker now. We have things like the Snap to get with it. It's still not great here. I'm more tempted to take Rona. And so I will. Of these two, I would almost say Elite Spellcaster. Yeah, let's get Elite Spellcaster. I like the evasion. I like all of the various things it can do. I doubt we end up playing the Blackleaf Cliffs. We're going to have better things to do. Hey, we wield the Unexpectedly Absent. Very good. Birthing Pod, I do not believe you are last pick. That's crazy. Somebody usually tries to build that deck. Hey, another piece of power. And a counterspell. And a Jace. And a hero also isn't even bad. Mystic Forge can do some good stuff. We have a fetch land. Silent Clearing isn't a bad way to splash. This is a pretty good pack. We're going to take the power even though it's not in our colors. Hopefully we can wield a counter spell or something good. Containment Priest isn't terrible if we're going up against Reanimator or some such. Sylvian of Sea and Sky. What do you do again? It's whenever it attacks. It's fine. We aren't really that deck. Lorien Revealed obviously has a spot. Thalia can be good. I don't think we're not Death and Taxes style control, so I think I want to take Containment Priest. Just as a hedge against us getting comboed out. Taiga, I would like some more of them dual lands now, please, though. Like, Xander's Lounge ain't a terrible way to splash, black, it's certainly not the best we can do here. Lauren certainly isn't bad. Charted Course isn't the worst. I have a soft spot for Weathered Wayfarer. But it's a little slow and clunky in cube sometimes, unless you are like a white-green Knight of the Reliquary style deck that really wants all of that extra lands. I think Lauren is the pick. Not sure if it's correct. There's the other Teferi, which I'm thinking that's the pick. Time Spiral can be funny. Fact or Fiction, obviously very good. Portal to Phyrexia is always hilarious if you can cast it. We aren't really that much of a ramp deck, even with some of our artifact mana. We'll take Teferi. We are trying to be annoying control. Wasteland, always good. Treachery, hilarious. Brainstorm, good. We don't have enough fetches to really make it the best it can be. What do you do again? 4 Mirrodin. Draw cards if it and one other creature attack. Not terrible. Blade Slicer can help us fill the board up and gum up the works. I like Treachery here, because once we can cast it, it's free, steal their best thing that's on the board. Bribery is a little better, but not enough that I'm upset about it. Pestermine ain't bad. Very tempted to just take the Spar's headquarters. Leyline Binding, not bad. We would definitely need more of those Triomes that we passed earlier. Soul Herder. Soul Herder is very good. We can keep bouncing things with like Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. This is way too creature heavy to be a full control deck now. Andoril, what do you do again? Get +3/+1. Whenever it attacks, create 2 tapped spirit. If it's legendary, that's fine, but I don't need it enough. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger can be funny. Emery, meh. I'm probably just taking the Hollowed Fountain here. I do like Thieving Skydiver, but if we're upheavaling eventually, whatever we steal is just going to go back to their hand anyway. Hey, Time Warp. Hey, Time Warp. Jace, very good still. Yeah. Sylvian can be good. Can Horizon Canopy just for more card draw. We can Horizon Canopy just for more card draw. I think Blackcleave Cliffs. I like the idea of being able to bounce Airtie with the Displacer Kitten. I don't know that I actually have enough instants to really work that. I have like Snap. Yeah. 1/2 of Brazen Borrower. Airtie, this might just not be the place for Airtie. I don't think we're playing the Weathered Wayfarer, but we'll take it for now. Yeah, none of these are things we're going to end up doing. Cruel Ultimatum. Sure, I doubt we end up playing you. Start moving some things to the sideboard here. Sorry, Airtie. This could work. I don't know if it's going to. We'll find out. It's going to be a weird one. This could come together fantastically. It could be a huge mess. Sure. And sideboard. All right. So, start moving some things now. We're definitely a little creature heavy here. We have a lot of cuts to make. We are at 32 cards. We have at least 8 cuts to make here, and a lot of it is probably going to be creatures. So, starting over here, we do have some ways now with Jason Rona to be dumping cards into our graveyard, which isn't bad, but 3 big delve spells I think is a little too much. I'm going to cut Treasure Cruise. I'm going to keep Dig. I did not want to do that. I just want to move you to the sideboard. There we go. Gear Hulk is still funny because it can bounce back. Dig Through Time. And I think Dig Through stuff like Snap. So yeah, there's not a lot there. Oop, Bitter Blossom. We aren't doing black. Sorry. Any other weird splashes I forgot about? Lingering Souls, still good, but not as useful if we don't want to do the black splash. Alright, so Torrential Gear Hulk is not super effective here. So we don't have that many instants. So unfortunately, Torrential Gear Hulk goes away. The only two hits we have are Dig Through Time, which would be hilarious if we hit it, and Snap. We don't even really have a lot of counter spells here. This is going to be a very strange control deck. We have things like the Fairies to lean on, Parallax Wave. We have things to do. It's just strange is all. For now, I'm going to get rid of a lot of the creatures that are just creatures. Don't really do anything else. Karmic Guide, I like buying back a bunch of these things, so Karmic Guide I'm fine with. Containment Priest can start in the sideboard. It's definitely a good one to bring back, though. Jace and Rona. I don't mind Rona. I don't know if she's great here. Jace, I feel like, is going to have a little more utility. Yeah, we can drop Rona for now. Lauren is almost always going to have some target, but I am fine starting with her in the sideboard, and we are now in a pretty good spot here. 23 cards, bunch of lands. We're just going to add some lands. We have these off-color ones to help us draw cards as we need to. They just want 5 and 9. How does that look? Yeah, we aren't that white heavy. We have like Parallax Wave and Unexpectedly Absent, but it's not bad. That's still 7 white sources and a bunch of blue. All right, this doesn't seem terrible. We will save this, see how it does. This is one of the few cube decks that I ever build because I'm bad at this part where I actually have sideboard options against things. I'm usually terrible about grabbing good sideboard options, or I just throw them into the main deck to try and head people off at the pass, but I actually have things to change up between games now, so that'll be fun. All right, see you when round 1 starts. All right, and here we are for round 1. We get to choose to be on the play, which we absolutely will be. I'm fine with this. We got a turn 2 Chrome Host Seed Shark into a turn 4 eventually to Fairy, but we're going to be drawing some cards along the way, so yeah, I'm fine with this in the dark. Probably lead off with the Hollowed Fountain tapped, just to get that out of the way. No real need to take 2 since we don't know what we're up against. If they're on burn, I definitely don't want to have to shock myself later. And if we are against burn, having a 4 toughness thing in Chrome Host is actually pretty good. Of course, we need our opponent to decide something. There we go. All right, so cast me a Mox Emerald, throw out a Hollowed Fountain tapped, and pass the turn. Swamp Soul Ring, pretty good. Good card, that. Get our Chrome Host out. Pass from here. And see what they got. All right. Lily. All right, so Chrome Host isn't long for this world. That's not the worst thing that can happen to us here. Lily on 1. Lily's not going to be able to stop Teferi from coming down. And Teferi can do a lot of good. We'll lead off on the plains. Just say go. What we don't want is for them to have targeted discard like a Thoughtseizor or Duress, because Teferi's going to be able to dig us out of pretty much any hole we find ourselves in here. They got a long way to go before they can ultimate that Lily. We have our 2 white and 2 blue, so don't really care about what colors we have anymore. We'll ditch the plains, hold on to the horizon canopy. They have all of the big mana stuff that we would want in our upheaval deck. Let's see what crazy thing they try here. Phyrexian Fleshgorger on 7. Pretty good. Pentad Prism, also pretty good. I think to start, we're going to bury that Phyrexian Fleshgorger, even though it's going to hurt us a bunch to do it. I was about to say, unless it's days, they don't have anything that can stop Teferi from happening. I will indeed pay 7 life to do that. And we'll buy ourselves a few turns there. See if we can mana crypt them out of the game. No luck. No need to do anything with Lily but plus. We'll get rid of the Horizon Canopy for now. I want Pentad Prism in case we do get a upheaval. Although their deck makes upheaval not great since they can reload on like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt right away. What do they got? Collective Brutality. I'm assuming they just have me... What? Discard a card? It's... choose an instant or sorcery, so nothing. Was that's all they did? Okay. They aren't going to tick up Lily at all either. Fair enough. That's real fun. I like that. Done. There is our pen tab. We will tip this up. Draw a Karmic Guide, which ain't bad. Can't cast it quite yet. I actually can cast it right now, can't I? Pro Black, it will just die, but when it dies, the Chrome Host gets to come back? Sure, let's do it. Sure. Come on. All right. We have a game plan going here. And we'll untap 2 lands just because. Represent something. I probably should have been Horizon Canopy in a land just so I could draw a card if I really wanted to. Keep that in mind for later. All right, now they're having me discard. Bye, Treachery. Unfortunate. But not the end of the world. So they have 1 card in hand. Lily doesn't last through next turn unless they have removal. I will pay that Echo for now, you know? Why not? I'm not really in a rush here. Yes. Little Tef. We're going to kill Lily, so that means we aren't going to need to discard. Assuming that last card in their hand isn't removal. Sweet. Draw a Murktide Regent. Not bad. And we are going to untap you two. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are going to have Phyrexian Fleshgorger here. We are still going to need to eventually find some kind of answer for that. For now, we're just going to draw a card. Displacer Kitten is fun and funny. Good way to keep bouncing Karmic Guide over and over and buying back things. That's a 7/5, right? Or yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or we just tap the Pentad for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do a bunch of silly things here. We'll play you. We'll play you 2 for now. Will we? Yeah, let's get him out there. Going to get another card draw and have 4 lands untapped at the end of this. That's not bad either. All right. Just tick up Tef for now. So what do I want to do here? I want to tap you for a blue. Doesn't really matter. We're going to cast the Mox Pearl, use the Displacer Kitten to bounce the Pentad, which doesn't really matter. It's not going to come in for anything else. We probably should have just bounced Teferi there to get yet another activation. But yeah, that's a pretty good start. I am aware. And we'll swing with the Chrome Host, because we can block with Karmic Guide, Displacer Kitten. We can block with a bunch of things. We're doing all right. And we're going to untap 4 lands. You 2. Oh, I clicked through the first one. Whoops. We still have enough mana up to activate this, which is the only thing we really need. Let's see what they got. Gix Probe, fair enough. They almost have, like they swing at the with the Fleshgorger for sure. It's just where do you point it? I have 2 Teferis, one of which will eventually take over the game if it ultimates, one of which is super annoying because you can't cast instants. Or you can just try to kill me, which is what they're going to do, which, fair. And we're just going to block there, and I'll call that good for now. All right, Fleshgorger down. My turn. V-Click is very fun for us to have here. Time Warp is also pretty hilarious. We're just going to... What? I don't know. I mean, I guess we just tick it up for now. There's not really a point in doing a ton else. So for now, we just swing. We're going to Time Warp in a second. I would like an extra turn after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they'll just call it there. All right. So that was pretty good. We want all of the artifact hate we can handle here, because they got a bunch of things that make my upheaval pretty bad if I go for it. So, yeah, Phyrexian Revoker is great for Lily. We want that. Snap, I don't think matters too much here. Oh, what else? Chrome Host can take over the game like we saw. Like, if I just start casting things and putting out tokens with Chrome Host, things end very fast. V-Click can be good. Soul Herder can do a bunch of stuff with things like V-Click and just untap creatures, essentially. Parallax Wave I don't think is going to be too great against them. It is just creatures, right? Yeah, creatures. Treachery does have a good spot. Unexpectedly Absent can be funny. I don't know what else I want to cut here. The Prism was meh, but it wasn't terrible. We'll cut the Unexpectedly Absent for now. I think it's not bad, but I think the rest of what we have does more. What do we got? We have a turn 2 Soul Herder or Brazen Borrower. That's good enough for me to start. No Thoughtseize or anything from them, which is good. Kinda didn't want more lands yet. Alright, if they play anything we need to bounce, we'll just do that now. I mean, we probably do that anyway, regardless. Collective Brutality. This is going to be a pretty sad Collective Brutality. I don't have any instants or sorceries for you to take. I'm sorry. Like, you get to see the game plan here, but not much else going on. Hey, that's fun. Sure, I'll just cast it to get it out there. We could save it for things like Displacer Kitten, but we also don't really need to. And you have Flash, so I don't really need to throw you out there yet. Regardless, I'm going to cast it at the end of turn just so Soul Herder can start growing the turn after that. And we have a semi-vigilant flying 3/1. Even though it only blocks creatures with flying. And then after that, we can just hopefully start drawing more action-y cards and doing more stuff. Lily, what do we got? This is kind of a terrible spot for Lily. All right. Yeah, you plus there. I ditched the planes. A-planes. Okay, what do they get rid of? Damnation. Sure. All right, we will cast Brazen Borrower. All of this is pretty good stuff. Attack Lily down to 1. Get you out here. Absolutely going to do that. Yep. Soul Herder grows a little bit. And we see what they got. 4 cards in hand. They could have plenty to do here. Thief of Sanity. Not bad. Brazen Borrower is a pretty good answer for that. Imperial Seal, certainly great. They only have 1 card left in hand. We'll see if they take up Lily, if they want to get rid of it or not. This would be an amazing turn to draw Vendilion Click, so in their upkeep I can snatch whatever it is they're Imperial Sealing. Lily? There we go. We're going to ditch our Fiery Islet. And we will flash this out in the end step. Just to be harassing them a little bit more. That's pretty fantastic because it means we can just swing all out and not really worry. You are going to go at Lily. You're going to go at Lily. You're going to go at Face. If they block anything with the Thief of Sanity, great. We're going to get it back with the Karmic Guide. If they don't, we're just going to have Soul Herder bounce the Brazen Borrower and go from there. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Soul Herder grows. We have a blocker for the Thief of Sanity. They have their card still on top of their deck that they're going to draw, right? Excuse me. Now that is going to be something good for them. But no swing. All right, this is what they Imperial Sealed for, and it's a Time Twister. Fair enough. I might have first main phased that if I were them, just to see what we can get. This is all good news for us. We can cast any 2 of these, which is probably going to be Chrome Host into Teferi. Bounce their Thief of Sanity. The only thing we really have to worry about is if they had, or if they redrew their Damnation. So I actually don't have to play Chrome Host out yet, do I? We can Cathar Commando that. That is a fine target to Cathar Commando. Trinket Mage is going to go grab their Soul Ring. So maybe we Cathar Commando that. Walking Ballista. All right. Well, I'll gladly take this opportunity to do this then. Play a land. With them having committed 2 creatures to the board, I'm much more willing to commit more of my own. So we'll Chrome Host. We're gonna Teferi. We know they have a Walking Ballista, so Teferi probably isn't long for this world, but that's okay. So we're just gonna do that. V-Click's fun. Swing, swing. Soul Herder's big enough that the Trinket Mage can't trade with it. They go down to 9. We untap our Brazen Borrower, grow our Soul Herder. Next turn, we can play out the V-Click or the Elite Spellbinder and start playing that game with Soul Herder, which is real funny. They can't cast instants, but they do have a full grip of cards and at least 6 mana to play with. There's that Soul Ring. They didn't need to Trinket Mage for it. So they can make a pretty decent-sized Walking Ballista here. For 3... Grave Titan, also pretty good. That upheaval is starting to look pretty enticing. And will indeed probably be the next play. After we swing in with our flyers. Yep. Alright, so we want to save our land drop. Yes. So we start with Teferi. Just plus them up. Swing with our flyers for 5. We can cast 1 3-mana thing after we upheaval. Which might be Teferi, might be V-Click here, or Elite Spellbinder, just to keep the pressure really up. I think I like Elite Spellbinder here, right? Yeah. Always yield. So I got 13 cards in hand. I'm kind of tempted to just take the Soul Ring here and lock them out. And that'll do it. Turns out if you deny them the ability to do mana and can kill them in 2 swings, you're probably going to win. All right, round 2. All right, here we are for round 2. We are looking lucky today since we won the die roll again. Since I said we look lucky, that probably means we're going to lose this horribly. What do I have? I have 2 mana off 1 land, a bunch of high-powered stuff. Like, the only thing I can cast is the Brazen Borrower and the Snap. I am going to toss that back and see if we can do better. This technically isn't better, but I like it more. Does that make sense? We'll keep. I will toss back the Karmic Guide for now. I should probably just talk. Yeah, we'll toss back Karmic Guide. I don't really know if there's a good one to do here. Let's get all of our mana out just to scare them, even if we aren't doing anything. Just in case they are a discard deck or a Time Twister or something. I'm not storming off, so I don't really have a need to hold these back unless I really want to do Displacer Kitten shenanigans, but we aren't guaranteed that, so for now, I just want resources. Retrofitter Foundry. Alright, bringing in our Artifact Destruction game too. That'll let us cast Parallax Wave, but who cares? For now, we're just going to play it tapped and pass. We can do Parallax Wave the old-fashioned way where it just buys us a bunch of turns. It's kind of boring, but not the end of the world. Hey, I'm okay with Treachery. That is a good backup to have once they actually start doing something. For now, they're just going to start Retrofitter Foundry-ing. Once they start making these tokens, Parallax Wave becomes a lot funnier to just play out normally. Because if I can just bounce tokens every turn, that just negates the entire point of Retrofitter Foundry for a while. And if I can eventually end up blinking Parallax Wave over and over, no token they have is ever going to do anything, although Skull Clamp is going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, it is at least a straight equip, so that might help. Uh-oh. Ophiomancer. Sure. That's fun. We could treachery that. That's definitely not the worst thing for us to do. We treachery that, get 3 mana back, play the Vendilion Click on their upkeep or after their draw step. I can get behind that. Sure. I certainly don't mind having an Ophiomancer. Like, there's probably going to be better stuff to steal, but for now, Ophiomancer is just going to feed Skull Clamp forever. I'd rather make them have to use their Retrofitter Foundry to get any value out of it. Okay. And then on their draw step, we're going to V-click them and go from there. So they drew their card. We'll get V-click out. Ooh, what do you got? Vampiric. Sure. So if I take anything, they're going to get the card they put on top. Do I think they have something that scary for 2 mana? Possibly 3, possibly a million if they have Black Lotus or whatever. But I'm going to know what they have outside of that card on top, so we can gauge in a second. He's thinking about it. I don't know if he has any... if they're taking this long, I don't think they had a silver bullet they're going for here. They just want their value out of Vampiric Tutor before it gets V-clicked away. Oh, that's me. Yeah. Resolves. We'll take a look at them. I could V-click myself just to be funny. Una's Prowler. They can keep it. Yeah, not really. That's fine. Go for it. All right, so they played a Swamp, and there's the Prowler. Yep, they're going to draw some cards. Okay. Don't think they got much else to do here so far. Well, if we keep drawing lands, I'm fine eventually just playing out the Murktide Regent. For now, I will get the Parallax Wave down on the board. And we are going to swing with our Snake and our V-Click, because I don't really care if the V-Click dies yet. Just slowly feed our Murktide Regent. So if they make anything with Retrofitter Foundry, we can Parallax Wave it. We're basically just denying them a bunch of draw steps with Skull Clamp with that Parallax Wave. Alright, well, Lily is useless as far as killing anything goes, because I just hack the snake and keep making new ones, so that's fine. Like, if this is all we're doing, we're in great shape. No need to let Lily that. Attack Lily. Attack Lily. Alright, do you have a removal spell or something to do? You do. What do we got? Oh, you're just going to do that? That's fine. Sure. In response, exile you. Oh, I can get rid of that. Stop. They still have 2 planes because they played another one of those. Ah, Lingering Souls is annoying. Certainly not the most annoying thing they can be doing, but not great. As I said before, we can now deny them. And there goes the other planes, so we can get rid of that. Let's just get rid of that so it's not in our notes. All right, let's just clear a bunch of you out. Parallax wave goes away. Yeah, bring them all back. That's annoying. I would like to stop drawing lands now, please. I have so much more to give. Everybody attack Lily, please. Alright, so they got 1 card in hand, but they have Retrofritter Foundry. So they're going to get to reload pretty fast. Do. Alright, 2 cards in hand, a Retrofitter Foundry, the ability to reload with Skull Clamp, and an active Lily. They are definitely ahead, especially since they get to get rid of the Ophiomancer finally. And a hero. Alright. We definitely need some help. Now would be a silly time for upheaval. Nope, but not the worst. It's just a redraw. Not the best. Let's... That doesn't really matter. Just do that. Alright, now would be an absolutely... Well, I would say it's a fantastic time for upheaval. Upheaval does almost nothing here except just basically reset the clock. We don't have anything to play out that after upheaval that's going to really affect anything. Like, we can get all our mana set up again, but meh. And they want me to sacrifice it so that the hero lives. But it did get Lily off the board, which I'm okay with, so upheaval now much better. Because they aren't just building back up to a Lily. But this is going to become a real fast clock. And they are going to get to Skull Clamp their tokens now. So we don't have long here. And a Mentor. Good lord. Alright. Upheaval now, pretty much. Skull Clamp more? Skull Clamp the Mentor. Alright. Alright, redraw. Come on. Well, you're not exactly what I was thinking, but you do something, kind of. You buy me more time. So, sure, we're going to wait for their draw step and then do this for as much as we can to just bury the Mentor way down there. Mentor is definitely scarier than the Hero of Bladehold. Granted, they can make tokens and just get back to the Mentor real fast, but it's still a better plan than nothing. Alright, white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll save the pentad just in case. We'll do 1. Sure. 6 cards from the top. They gotta Skull Clamp 3 times to get to the Mentor. at least. It's a start. And they're just going to go for pure damage, which I totally get. Is this enough to kill me? I think this is enough to kill me, because everything gets battle cry. See, I think this just straight up does it. That's fine. We weren't winning that game anyway. Ooh, boy. All right. All of our same stuff for Artifact Hate. Does Containment Priest do anything? I don't think Containment Priest does anything. Yeah, that seems about right. So I do think Snap has a little more play here. So I'm fine with keeping that in. Phyrexian Revoker, they still have Lily, they still have Retrofitter Foundry. It's still pretty good. This is a tricky one. Parallax Wave even is pretty good here against all their token making. We will get rid of the Karmic Guide. We'll get rid of Unexpectedly Absent. It had a purpose in that last game, but not really a ton. And we'll get rid of... I think we'll get rid of Murktide for now. Of our delves, Dig Through Time is going to be the most useful to just find some of our big answers for things, so... I would like to play first, thank you. Less impressive than the last hand we had. I'm okay keeping it because we have some redraws. We're building up to a Dig Through Time. We have some... If we can find a white mana, we have good things. Brazen Borrower can bounce stuff. Sure. Like, this definitely isn't a super exciting opening hand. It's just not... It's not bad enough for me to throw it back yet. We'll arrange things a bit. All right. Good turn one land from them. Hey, I like Displacer Kitten. Still searching for that white mana. See if they give us anything to bounce here with the Brazen Borrower. Maybe. I don't know if that really matters to me or not. It's the whenever... I'd rather just bounce other things. That was a good draw. We'll do that. Always yield as much as we need to. Deluge Mentor, Lily, Elspeth. This is going to be their third mana. We'll take Lily for now. Yeah? Yeah. So we know that that's all that they have. Lily technically isn't in their hand. Cathar Commando can deal with the Call of the Ring. And Brazen Borrower can bounce whatever it is they're going to cast. So yeah, we got... This isn't... We're doing not ridiculous. Well, if you want a Deluge, sure. Guess I'm fine with them getting rid of that now. Alright, that's certainly not terrible. So we know they have the Knight Errant next turn, which can do some things, but nothing too worrisome. So yeah, let's do that. Get the Seed Shark going. Brazen Borrower and Cathar Commando can come out next turn. Well, not Brazen Borrower, the Petty Theft version of it. Slowly start building our army of constructs. Too bad they took out that Spellbinder, otherwise Displacer Kitten would be real funny right about now. Ophiomancer. Sure. I'm fine with more mana for now. That means we can Cathar Commando, block something, and blow up the Call of the Ring on the same turn. But what we're going to do first is swing. Pass the turn. We're going to bounce whatever they target here with Call of the Ring. So the ring temps. I guess we don't get to see what they target. It's not a target. Sure. We can still bounce that token, block the Ophiomancer with the Cathar Commando. There's things to do here. There's the Mentor. Oh boy. I guess if I Brazen Borrower now, that's actually not terrible, is it? So we Petty Theft, bounce the Monastery Mentor, so they have to choose between Elspeth and Monastery Mentor this turn. Alright, they're going to go for Mentor again. That's fine. They do have to think about swings now. Only because the Incubator token can block the Ophiomancer. Yeah. Alright, if that's all they're going to do, that's fine. Discard Elspeth for no apparent reason. Nope, Una's Prowler. Okay. God. Yep, we take our one end step. We are going to blow up. We're just going to cast this for now. We aren't going to... might as well. It's not sticking around for blocks next time anyway. That's possibly fun. I like that. I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm not going to swing in with the Chrome Host. We're just going to sit back and see what happens. After their draw step, we V-click. That'll still leave us enough mana to flip that token if we need to. All right, upkeep happens. Draw step. Now we do this. And now Displacer Kitten becomes a lot funnier. Karn Scion, huh? What do you do? I'm much more fine with Karn than I am with Elspeth. Elspeth can start doing scarier stuff faster, so we're going to make Elspeth go away. So we know they have Retrofitter and Karn. And now unknown third card. Straight to combat. That makes very little sense to me for some reason, unless they just want to get the swing in with the snake. Sure. What do you discard? Swamp was at least one of the unknown cards. Karn and Retrofitter Foundry? Yeah, there's Karn. Yield. Sure. You're just going for the construct. Yep. Hey, that's pretty not bad. We'll get rid of the Foundry so they can't just keep pumping out endless tokens. Yes. We still have the Brazen Borrower to flash in at some point. For now, we're just going to get rid of Karn before anything else happens. Alright, so they got one card in hand. We can cast the Brazen Borrower. We can flip this Incubator token. What do they got? Lightning Greaves. Oh boy. Not ideal. Things ain't looking great for us. We're still not dead, but we need some answers pretty fast. And if they're going the route of just building up an army over time to run us over, that buys us a couple of more draw steps. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. So we do got to be careful, just because they can have another instant or sorcery or something they can cast. Especially after they do this loot. That can grow something of theirs. But we'll try to eat some of these and see. See what they got. Nope, nothing. Okay. Sure. That was passing strange. I have to cut a lot of this out, Chris. All right. I think it's time to dig through time. Just make us a big old token. Time Warp is good. Treachery certainly ain't bad. Yeah, I think it's Time Warp and Treachery here. Like, we have Mox Pearl and things to do, but these two are going to let us do the most. If we can survive one more turn. Kind of a big if. V-Click can block, actually, so I was thinking add the Brazen Borrower text for a second. Treachery, I'm actually tempted to steal the Ophiomancer over the Monastery Mentor, but it's close. Gross. They are going to have a way to draw that when they swing with the snake. But yeah, next turn, being able to Treachery and Time Warp, just get a bunch of these tokens here from the Chrome Host is going to be a big deal, unless, of course, they have a way to kill the Chrome Host right now, which they very well could. Anytime. Again, the fact that they're taking this long to find something fills me with a little bit of hope, because that means they didn't have a plan. They're probably just casting stuff to get more Monastery Mentor triggers. If they don't use those Lightning Greaves, we probably steal them. Yeah, we steal the Ophiomancer just because the Snake token doesn't require us to cast anything to get more use out of it, and it has Death Touch. There we go. All right, so we want to block things that do not matter so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can take 7. They can only prowess once with whatever. And they didn't even do that, so I'm cool with all this. Oh yeah, this is working out about as well as it could for us. Soul Herder also ain't bad, but for now we are just going to Treachery away this. Get a big token. I will untap up to 5 lands. Thank you. Come on. Read my clicks. There we go. And then we Time Warp. Get another big token. And we're going to swing with our thing that can swing into this. Actually, they don't. They have a 1/1. Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm fine with this. Even if they block and have a trick, we have a game plan here. They're at 9. All right. We get a blocker. Things are looking not terrible. Sure. I'm just going to go for it here. I don't know that there's a ton of point in holding back. So they're at 9. We swing for as much as we can. And we will win. All right. Managed to snooker that game. We'll see if we can do it again game 3. No, dog, we didn't. All right, here we are at game 3. They're on the play. I like this. We have a bunch of answers to early enchantments and artifacts. We have answers. We have a redraw with the Horizon Canopy. There's enough stuff to do here. I'm good keeping this, even though it is 5 lands, which isn't necessarily ideal. We're going to turn 1 Hollowed Fountain. Tapped. Oh, that's even. All right. For a very creature-like deck, we got some good ones, and they're all in our hand right now. And no play yet. Wow, we're doing like Soul Herder with Lauren. They are never going to be able to keep an artifact or an enchantment on the board. This is great. This is what we want. This is the future that us liberals want. And to turn, we're going to flash out Cathar Commando. That's a little annoying. That's fun-ish, I guess. For now, we just do this. And I'm going to cast the Soul Herder before any of the other ones, actually. I'm going to cast you just to get you out there. It's because I want the Soul Herder to start growing. As soon as it can. All right. We got a game plan. Hero is a little gross. But again, not the end of the world. I like V-Click here. That's good fun. We got a bunch of stuff now that's pretty fun to bounce with Soul Herder. So much so that I'm tempted to just play out the V-Click now. But I think we'll start with the Chrome Host just so we have a chance at blocking the hero. And we're just going to let the Soul Herder grow. What do they got? Lingering Souls, that's not great, although Chrome Host does block those forever. So far, we've had a lot of answers for the things they have. It's just a question of, can we live long enough for those answers to fully answer the thing? Because we keep answering things piecemeal. This would be a great time to draw Parallax Wave. Do I block the Monastery Mentor with enough things to kill it? I think I do. And I think I want that to be these two. Because I do want Soul Herder to grow big enough to keep the hero from wanting to attack. Karmic Guide would also be a great draw now. It's not the worst thing, but it's certainly not great. I'll V-click now just to get a couple of uses out of it with the Soul Herder here. The rare main phase V-click. I do not want you to have Vampiric Tutor. So we know Vampiric Tutor is now on the bottom of their library. No swings yet. And we will V-click again. And get more information. We'll just take the Intrepid Adversary and they can have hopefully more lands. All right. Dark Writ. Prowess is up those. Lily the Last Hope. Definitely not ideal. They can either buy back the Monastery Mentor or just start killing some of my things. Yeah, that tracks. That also tracks. Ooh boy. I don't know if we make it out of this one alive. So what do we got? 4 plus 8 is 12 plus 20. So we need to block some amount of things here. All right. It's not going to be pretty. You're smaller right now, right? Yeah, you're a 2-3. You're a 2-3, which does not matter for any of the big flying things, but can block one of those. All right. Definitely need some help. That's not going to be enough help. The flyers alone kill me with that, so unless this draw is something great... Well, that does more than nothing. That does more than nothing. All right. I mean, it's all a start. Presumably they send at least 1 or 2 things at Teferi. We might be able to buy enough time to draw our way out of this, but it's going to be close. All right, they want to buy back that Monastery Mentor or the Evolved Sleeper. My money's on the Mentor here. No, they did buy back the Evolved Sleeper. Hero Bladehold. Yes. Evolved Sleeper. All right. Is that... Oh, what do we got? Oh, okay, sure. Yes. Cool. Groovy. Great. Grand. So these are all just coming at me. There's the one for Teferi. All right. I'll just block the one going for Teferi, or I'll just bounce the one going for Teferi just because I'm going to be dead next turn either way. Might as well hold on to Teferi. Dig is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we'll dig. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure. Oh, don't need that 4. Cancel. Thank you. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There we go. None of this is fantastic, but it can do some amount of work. So we want... I guess we want Elite Spellbinder? No, oh. So Brazen Borrower lets us bounce something. There's going to be the Hero of Bladehold, which is the only thing that really lets us live, I suppose. So we'll do that. Any order. And we don't need to cast it immediately. But if they swing with everything, we're going to die no matter what. Alright, yeah. Basically, if they just swing out at us and don't do anything else, we die even with the ability to bounce the Hero of Bladehold at the beginning of combat. I'm also running out of time, so one way or another I'm probably losing this, but we play out to the end on the chance that we do come up with something. If they still go for Teferi, that might do enough distraction to be useful. Alright, beginning of combat. We petty theft away you. Very good. If they swing everything at me, we still lose. If they swing anything at Teferi, we can live. And it is indeed all at me. Well done. They saw the line. All right. GG's. On to round 3. All right, y'all. Here we are back for round 3. And this hand does a lot of nothing real fast, so we're going to throw it back. That's not a ton better, but enough that we'll keep it for now. I'm going to ditch the dig through time because there's no way we're getting there anytime soon. And we'll get going. Top. All right. More land's not bad. We can now cast either side of that Brazen Borrower in a turn or two. Phyrexian Revoker on Sensei's Divining Top, also not the worst thing in the world, and we can just throw that out here now to test out what kind of counter magic they may be packing. In response, they'll spin the top. That is good news as far as them not having straight up counterspell in their hand at least. Or something along that nature. We will name Sensei's Divining Top. Well, Solarian Academy's pretty good too. Oh dear. Oh dear, Tinker. Okay. We have Brazen Borrower. So depending on what they go for here, we're in really good shape. Yeah, we're fine with that. They're gonna blow up one land and then we just bounce it straight back to their hand. Like, that could have been so much worse. Even better. You don't even have to show off the Brazen Borrower yet, because we can just go badink and badoink. They do get to blow up, of course, our island. We are in trouble. But they no longer have Tinker. The Tolarian Academy does nothing at the moment. Thespian stage, sure. That could be a problem if it goes unchecked. All right, now we're in trouble. Can't cast the Pentad Prism without the second mana, so we can't even just get that down to be able to store mana in it for later. They might also not have a ton to do, though. Yeah, what do you got? All right, they aren't going to do much either. I'm cool with that for the moment. We could cast the Pentad Prism. I am fine just waiting and holding back Brazen Borrower for now. Or rather, Petty Theft. Even better. All right, if we just want to keep doing this, I'm kind of okay with it. Oh, now they ruined it. Sure. Actually, you know what, we'll do this now. Because they don't actually have 3 mana left. Oh, they are with the incubator token. That makes a great deal of sense. Okay. But we are slowing things down a little bit, which I'm also okay with. Now we will take this opportunity to get the Pentad Prism out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we can cast the Murktide Regent. Make it a 4/4. Or we wait for an upheaval. I don't really feel like upheaval's doing a lot. Sure. Let's just get this out there. All right, we got us a 4/4 Murktide Regent. So they can't swing in with the Chrome Host Seed Host unless they get pop the Seal of Removal to bounce this back to my hand, which they might very well do. Karn, Scion of Urza. All right. Create a 0/0. Sure. We want to get that Parallax Wave going if we can, to just be able to bounce all these constructs. That's a good first step to that. Yeah, just cast you like that is fine. A little bit more and we are in, like, if we can draw some of the Moxen, we're nearing the spot where Upheaval can start to do some real work here. Of course, they're about to take over with their Tolarian Academy and ability to just make huge, ridiculous things. Is this the Sundering? Yeah. All right, I'm willing to call this game done. They are full on, like, big ol' artifact go off king style stuff, and we have plenty to do with that here in our sideboard. Containment Priest we're bringing in just to hedge against Tinker even more. And in the meantime, we can Unexpectedly Absent is probably moderate here, but not great. I'm not sure I like Murktide Regent against the bounce stuff they were showing me. Revoker can be very good. Snap can be, as we saw, very good against early Tinker. Got 2 cuts. I'm not sure what I actually want to cut here. We can get rid of a Parallax Wave for now, even though it would be good against a lot of those Karnstruck style tokens. Still not necessarily the best thing. Yeah, I can get rid of the Pentad Prism. We still have a bunch of other stuff we can do for some amount of acceleration. I would like to play first. That's not bad. That's either a turn 1 Jace or a turn 1 Talisman. I'll keep that. I'm thinking I want the turn 1 Jace just to get that going. We don't have a huge need for the 3rd mana yet for the Talisman of Progress on turn 2. So I'm not going to do that quite yet. Oh my. They are going all in on Tinker. We'll just Talisman. They aren't doing it yet. I will discard the plains here, since we already have the 2nd white source with that one. Soul Herder, not terrible. Still have Snap open with the Talisman. Now they go for the mana drain. Alright. We can get that back with Karmic Guide next turn if we really need to, or want to. Karmic Guide and Soul Herder seems like a very funny combo. Though you do just have to pay Echo forever with that, but whatever. Alright, Mystic Forge is they get to cast artifacts and can exile cards from the top of their library. Yeah, sure. We will continue to filter through our deck. Alright. Let's see what else they got. Nothing I can really obviously get back with the Karmic Guide, but it is just still funny. Oh, I gotta stack them, I guess. There we go. All right, what do they got? Sundering? Expel Time Spiral. All right. If we get to untap, we got plenty to do. That is a big if, however. Top, sure. This is a pretty good setup for an upheaval. In a turn or two, they're going to time walk, sure. So if they're full on storming off, we are in a bad spot. If they aren't full on storming off, we're kind of fine. Okay. Urza lets them tap that for whatever. Are they just going to spin Urza here? Do they have a card to cast? 6. Huh. Well, that's not great. Yeah, that's probably lights out. Because what do? They cast Upheaval on my own stuff? Or they Revoker my... They cast Revoker naming something of mine. If I get rid of the Upheaval, this isn't terrible. They can Time Warp, I guess, to give themselves another extra turn. And now they tinker. Alright, so yeah, if they're just going to have all of the things, yeah, I'm not lasting through more turns of this. They're going to give themselves 2 extra turns and just swing. Alright, they got this one. So, kind of got steamrolled by the Tinker deck there. Not the best result, but oh well. We had one round where our deck went exactly as we wanted it to. A decently fought middle round, and then that round we just got steamrolled in an insane Tinker turn in that second game. In the first game, they just kind of slowly accumulated enough resources to roll over us. So, not the best result, but for a kind of halfway Upheaval, halfway hardcore control deck, it's could have done worse. Definitely could have done better. But we'll try again next week, although I think Vintage Cube will be away by then. But thanks for sticking around. Have a good one, y'all. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.